Once upon a time, in a quiet village by the edge of a forest, lived a man named Damon. He was not poor, nor was he truly rich. He had a small field that gave him enough grain, a few goats that gave him milk, and a hut that kept him safe from the rains. His neighbors often said, Damon has enough to live happily, but Damon himself was never satisfied. When he looked at his modest field, he dreamed of 1,000 acres. When he counted his goats, he wished for herds stretching beyond the hills. And when he ate his simple bread, he longed for golden feasts fit for kings. One summer morning, as he wandered near the forest, he met a strange old traveler resting under a tree. The man's eyes glimmered like coals, and in his hand was a small pouch that seemed to hum with power. Damon greeted him and offered water. In return, the traveler smiled and said, "You are kind, so I will share with you a secret. This pouch is no ordinary pouch. Whatever coin you put into it will multiply overnight. 1 becomes 2, 2 becomes 4, 4 becomes 8, and so on." Damon's heart raced. He begged for the pouch, and the traveler, with a warning voice, said, "Take it. But remember, stop when you have enough. The pouch grows heavy with greed. If you try to feed it endlessly, it will curse you." Blinded by excitement, Damon promised he would be careful. He hurried home and dropped a single silver coin into the pouch. The next morning, 2 coins gleamed inside. His hands shook with joy. He bought more goats, planted more seeds, and grew wealthier than any neighbor. But his heart, instead of resting, grew hungrier. Each night he placed more coins into the pouch, and each morning he woke to double. Soon his small hut became a mansion, his goats filled the hillsides, and his neighbors whispered in awe. Still, Damon was not content. "Why stop now?" he thought. "If I can have 100, why not 1,000? If I can have 1,000, why not 10,000? And so he kept feeding the pouch. At first it obeyed, doubling his treasure faithfully. But one morning Damon found the pouch heavier than before. Instead of neat coins, it overflowed with sharp stones. Alarmed, he threw them out and added more gold to reset it. Yet the next day the pouch poured out snakes that slithered across his floor. Terrified, Damon still refused to stop. "One mistake means nothing. Tomorrow it will give me riches again," he insisted. But the pouch had already grown tired of his greed. The following morning, instead of coins, fire burst forth from its mouth. It spread across his house, devouring wood, grain, and animals alike. His mansion crumbled into ash, his goats scattered into the forest, and the pouch itself vanished into the smoke. Homeless and ruined, Damon wandered the roads. Neighbors who once admired him shook their heads in pity. They remembered the humble man who once had enough to live happily, and they whispered, "Greed is a curse." What could have been his blessing became his downfall. Damon, now alone and broken, finally understood. If only he had stopped when he had enough, he would still have his home, his goats, and his peace. But his hunger for more had burned it all away. Moral greed is a curse. Wealth, possessions, and power can bring comfort only when taken in measure. When desire grows without end, it destroys the very life it was meant to improve.